Hello and welcome back to Huntel at Home. I hope you all had a nice weekend. It's been beautiful and very sunny here. I am out at the playing field at Hunthill Audubon Sanctuary, and with all the sun that we've been getting, it's really greened up here. You can see it's really nice and green. We're also starting to see the buds coming out on all of our trees, so that's fun to see as well. And today and for the rest of the week, we're going to be focusing on survival. So we're going to be doing some different survival activities and seeing some cool things around here that you can do that are fun little ways to play games to practice your survival skills. Now, today we're going to be focusing on reading a compass. We're going to just do the very basics of reading a compass so that you have a general idea of how to get around using a compass. This is our first week of May, our first full week, and it's a little bittersweet for me because I love doing our Hunthill at Home, but I especially love working with the kids that come here for field trips. This would have been our first week of field trips, and we would have had St. Croix Falls 4th grade and St. Francis de Sales pre-K through 2nd grade here. So a shout out to those schools. We miss you. We hope we'll see you next year. So stay safe out there, everyone. Here's our joke of the day. So, did you know that this joke is a lot like a broken compass? You know why? Because I don't know where I'm going with this. All right, let's get started. So, to read a compass, you need to know a few things about the compass, and so we're going to take a look at a giant compass. Now this one is a real compass. The one I'm going to show you is not a real compass, meaning it's not magnetized. So I'm going to be kind of moving it around to show you how a compass works. Oh, before I do that though, I want to show you a little globe. So the reason that a compass works is because this little arrow in here is magnetized, and this will start to point toward wherever the North Pole is. So Earth is also magnetized, and it has a magnetic pole very near to the North Pole. So let's imagine this is our North Pole. The magnetic north is not exactly at the North Pole, but it's pretty close. It's around here. So all of the magnets in our tiny little compasses here are pointing toward that magnetic north. Now, let's take a look at a big compass. So here's our big compass. I use this for teaching about compasses, but as you can see, I control the arrow rather than the magnets controlling the arrow. And it's got all of the parts that you would expect a compass to have. It's got the labels for north, east, south, and west. You can remember their order. They go like a clock around here, and I use the phrase, "never eat soggy waffles." Now we also have our arrow here. This is the magnetic arrow that will move around. And then all of these are on a disc. So you can turn the disc whichever direction you feel like. This arrow is going to show you which direction to travel. So let's say that we are standing here and we want to travel to the east. What we're going to do, and a lot of people use this phrase, which is put red in the shed and follow Fred. Sometimes it's Ed. We're going to call it Fred. So we're going to call this red because it is red. We're going to call this our shed. We always want the red to be in our shed, which is where north is. And then we'll follow Fred. So whichever direction I want to go, I'm going to say I want to go east. We want to be putting where Fred is. That's the place we're going to travel. Now, what we need to do in order to get Red into the shed is we actually have to physically turn our bodies in order to do this. So we'll turn this until it's right in the shed. Once we've got that all set, we are ready to follow whichever direction it is. So it is telling us our direction of travel is this way. We want to keep Red in the shed as we walk with our compass. Now it's really important that you keep your compass flat so the needle stays pointed toward north. If I try to turn it this way, then my needle might be moving for gravity and not by magnetism. So we're going to walk in that direction, and we're heading east. All right. Now I'm going to teach you a fun little game that you can play using maps in order to practice using your compass. So I've got my Hunt Hill Audubon Sanctuary map here, and on it it's got a little compass rose. This tells me which way is north here. Then I've also got my actual compass. I can set it right on here, and I can see that my red here is not matching up with the north on my map. So I want them to be pointed in the same direction. So I'm going to physically turn my whole map in order to get it there. We're turning. We're gonna have some shadows in here. That's okay. Now north is lined up with our map. So now what I can do is I can find my way around camp using my compass. So I need to have an idea of where I am first. And I can look close at this main camp and I can see some characteristics that are unique here. Each of these black marks is a building. And I see this one mark that looks like a cross or an X. And if I look up right now, I can see a building that is in the shape of a cross or an X. This is our Cross Dorm. So I know that I'm right about here. I'm between Cross Dorm and this long building. Right behind me is our shower house. So now that I know where I am, I can figure out how to get myself to the Francis Andrews Trail or to the Bog Boardwalk just by finding my space. So let's say I want to go to the bog. And I know from where I am right now, it's pretty close to east. And I can actually take a bearing here. And so the bearing, if I set my compass on top, is pointed toward about 110. So I can actually turn my knob here until I have my bearing pointed toward Fred. Here we go. It's hard to turn while also filming. Pretty close. There we go. So we have 110. Now we want to have our red in the shed. It is not in the shed right now. So what I'm going to do, my globe blew away. Here we go. So what I'm going to do, I make sure my hand is flat, and then I physically turn my body until red is in the shed. Now I know that I'm facing about east at a bearing of 110, and I can walk that way. And if I keep walking that way, I'm going to get eventually all the way to the bog. Now, one last thing that you can do to practice using your compass is to make your own little map. So I brought myself a little piece of scrap paper, and I brought myself a pencil. There's my pencil. And I brought myself some objects. They are little centipedes, because why not? So what I can do is I can make myself a little map, and I can draw where my first centipede is going to be. So we'll say I'll start with my red centipede. And I want to put my orangish yellow one 20 steps to the west. So we'll say 20 steps. And then we'll have orange. Oop, I forgot an E. And then last, we'll put our green centipede 20 steps to the north. Then what I can do after I've got this all set is I could have a family member or a friend try out my course and see if they find them at the same spot. Or I can also do it backwards or forwards to see if I get at the same spot every time. So let's set them up. We already have red. I just have to decide where I'm going to put red. We'll put red right there. Then I need to set up my compass. Here's my compass, and I want it to be west. So I'm going to turn this all the way to west. There we go. And again, I have my hand flat. I need to turn my body until red is in the shed. There we go. Oh, and I need to grab my centipedes. Here we go. So, red in the shed. We're going to follow Fred. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So, we're at 20. I can put down my orangish yellow one. And then I decided I wanted to go north next. So I turn north to our Fred, and I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to turn my body all the way until red is in the shed. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There we go. Now I have my little course set up. Now, you can play this game a lot. You can go backwards, you can go forwards. I'll show you how to go backwards really quickly because that's a different skill. And then we'll probably be done because I don't want to keep you too long. So, I know that I went north to get here. To go backwards, I have to do the exact opposite direction. So if I went north, now I need to go south. So, I'm going to turn. And then I will turn my body all the way until red is in the shed. Okay. Let's see how good my steps were here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh. I have to make sure it stays in that shed. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Pretty close. I got there. Well, thank you for watching me and my centipedes as we did our little compass activity. We're going to be doing different survival activities throughout the whole week. I hope you join me for the rest of the week. Thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting Hunt Hill. Bye!